After our first European bike tour, we decided to spend the winter in Guatemala to avoid the cold weather. After about 3 months, we realized we had unfinished business in Europe, so we flew to Portugal with the aim of riding the Med coast all the way to Italy, which we did not actually end up doing. All right, here we are in our Porto apartment. We are setting up the bikes. Here, let's turn on the light. Amelia's bike in here, her bags. That's my sleeping pad. Here's my bike. My panniers. Porto is a beautiful city. As you can see, dust from the Sahara Desert cast a yellowish hue into the sky. It truly felt like we were in a Hollywood depiction of Mexico. After a week of getting blacked out on port wine, we decided it's time to jump back on the bikes and head on the N2, the national route from the north of Portugal all the way to the south. Leaving Porto. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right, I have my bib on. We just left Porto. We're only 5 minutes in and Amelia deflated her tire. The great thing about biking near train tracks is you don't have to contend with the noisy cars and aggressive drivers. You really get to just enjoy the serenity of nature. Here you can see the peace and serenity washing over us like an awesome wave. Goddamn! All right, we decided to go luxurious last night. Get one of these teepee camp things. They're little beds. They're cots with a mattress on them. They're actually really comfortable. Got the jet boil going. Some coffee. Need a person for scale. Can't see you.
Well, I think you can see me.
Alright, we're 60 miles north of the biggest wave in the world. We found ourselves close to the iconic town of Nazaré, which boasts the largest wave in the world, so of course we decided to stop by. This cable tram is one of the many highlights you can expect in Nazaré. The tram operator told us in 2013 a cable broke and tragically killed 16 innocent people. I respectfully disagreed with him. Unfortunately, the swell's not really here today, apparently. There are some surfers down there, though. Surfing school. But we missed the giant swell that usually comes this time of year by 2 weeks. The lighthouse. And the wave, there's photos where the wave is like taller than the lighthouse, which is clearly like forced perspective because there's no way it's that tall. But I think it's like 90 feet. It's the largest one ever surfed. Ooh. This model is a depiction of the geohydrology that exists off the coast of Nazaré. The large Atlantic swell is thrusted upwards by the sea floor, thus creating a thrust vector which causes the swell to be jacked off the canyon floor into the virgin coast. In Nazaré, widows are required to wear all black as a sign of respect for their late husbands. I actually think this is really sweet and interesting and not creepy at all, despite what anyone tells you I've said in the past. After Nazaré, we leave Portugal's serene and gentle coast for the muggy, hill-ridden hellscape of the interior. Sometimes you run into this when you're bike touring. Notice how the bikes have no bags on them. Well, we've been chasing Google routes that keep leading us into dead ends. So finally, we get to this place. We're coming from that direction this way. and we see this giant cliff and a river. So to cross the creek / river, drop all of our bags, had to carry the bikes up one by one. All these storks have made a nest on each pillar of this church. It was truly incredible seeing all of these seemingly abandoned cathedrals along our route. Unfortunately, I had previously eaten some bad bifana, so we couldn't stay long. At this point, we're about 3/4 of the way down from Porto, headed towards Faro. It was pretty nice here, and we really liked this area. Did I ever mention I was non-verbal until the age of 13? Poisonous? The snake just tried to bite us. Yeah. Oh, okay. Ah, okay. So, I think he's saying that it's poisonous. But it almost struck me and Amelia. It went right for us. Anyway, obrigado. After curb stomping a harmless and likely endangered species of gopher snake, we decided to get some rest before our big push to the Spanish border. This little chiller. Okay, well, the storm is on its way in. There's a lot of thunder. Cooking some food. Let's see what we're cooking. Open that sucker up.
A little fog.
Ooh.
Hot dogs.
Some good. Got the bikes right there.
Make sure to get our
Boxed wine. Absolutely disgusting boxed wine. Here's our little home away from home. Amelia's making some friends. Got our tents, our bikes, everything else. The next morning we continue south on the N2. Here we are outside of the town of Torral. I found this little guy on the road probably about 10 miles ago. We just got to our campsite, which is over that. I always try to help out the critters along the way, besides that snake, of course. Unfortunately, I later read that when these turtles are this tiny, they're meant to stay in very small bodies of water like creeks or stagnant pools, and that releasing one into a lake this size means certain death. But I digress. It's our Airbnb. Beautiful day though. After about 2 weeks of riding, we finally reached Portugal's southern border with Spain, near Huelva. Before crossing over, we decided to camp one last night to rest up for the hot Spanish dudes ahead. This hot Spanish riding ahead of us. You'll see. Amelia was telling me about her menstrual cycle today, and so I just told her to go find me who asked. I couldn't get footage of this, but we actually entered into Spain illegally. They don't have border crossings here, but we entered in by crossing a defunct bridge guarded by an obese Portuguese man with a moped. Luckily, when we made our break for it, we realized he could not drive, and the moped was a bluff tactic all along. This man could have also simply been a pedestrian. Alright, this is our first 30 minutes inside of Spain. Across a river from Portugal, and pretty much right away we're on a dirt road, which is fine. It's away from the highway, which is actually nice. We're kind of in like a estuary. Good weather, nice temperature, perfect for biking, like 65 maybe. Being Americans and all, we had no idea we were entering Spain during its largest religious holiday, Semana Santa. The lack of black people really started to make sense now. After our introduction to the totally normal and not at all bizarre Semana Santa processions, we jumped back on the bikes and headed towards Sevilla, which was one of the most beautiful cities we'd seen yet. We ended up staying there for 4 days. Ooh. Very, very, very cool. You just stepped on Amelia. Hemingway based a character off a bullfighter he met in Sevilla in his book, The Sun Also Rises, and I also just made that up. Very cool. Beautiful. Best dog I've ever seen in my absolute life.
Oh, and this one. And this
I
one.
think this is the mom or the dada, I'm not sure.
In some of these smaller Spanish towns, it can be really difficult to get food after 5 p.m. We decided to use Uber Eats to get some Burger King, but the app kept canceling my orders each time I completed a transaction. I must have ordered 5 different times in 1 hour. Frustrated, I left the Airbnb on foot to find some food until Amelia called me to inform me that all 5 orders had shown up. And yes, I did order Domino's as well. After the BK and Domino's debacle, we decided it was best to leave the rest of the food with our host because I certainly couldn't eat all of that fast food in one night. With our newfound energy, we head towards Spain's famous Sierra Nevada mountain range on the Mediterranean coast. Also, this is me dropping my battery pack. Well, it's windy out there. All those white caps. Got quite the mountains ahead of us. Just came from that road down there. This is gonna be fun. So this is the Mediterranean meal we've been eating. What you do is you take some nice soft baguette? Baguette of bread? I don't know.
Scott's mentally retarded at this moment.
I'm retarded. Everyone knows that. This will come to no shock to anyone. Dip a little bit of the bread into the olive oil.
And salt and oregano.
Salt and oregano. I'm gonna take one of these.
And your sip of wine.
And a little bit of Spanish wine. He's like, get your finger a little closer.
Oh, no. He loves it. Oh, look at he wants it.
Here we are going through a tunnel. Christ almighty. At this point, we've been riding through Spain's southern coast for about a week. It's incredibly hot, and we average about 2,000 feet of climbing a day. This, unfortunately, continues for another week. And it has a kitchen, so we can cook food tonight a little bit easier. It's got its own bathroom and a laundry area, so I cannot stress enough how important laundry is. Needless to say, we decided to spend the extra 10 euros for a bungalow. Next, we ride through the largest greenhouse development in the world. All of the white blocks you see are giant greenhouses filled with Europe's subtropical fruit supply. It's also inhabited by about 20,000 African migrant workers. It's so big you can see it from space. This is when you know you got a good bike buddy. While I'm sitting here getting my bike spokes replaced, she went and got us coffee. And she's doing the one-hand carry of 2 coffee cups. That's a veteran, that's a pro move.
Good girl for,
Oh no.
And for a good finish, I only spilled yours.
That's fine. Thank you, babe. So I was gonna just replace some myself, but he's like, hey, I can just do this really quickly. I have the machine for it.
Oh, that's awesome.
So. Okay. Well, we're climbing some mountains right now. Just to show what the hills and the mountains are like that we have to do. This road follows up here where that car goes, and then it goes up here, goes around, comes around the mountain, and then you see that road way up there? That's where we're climbing to. So it's basically 12, or I think he said 1,400 feet. All in the first start of the ride. And we got a late start today. But it's beautiful out nonetheless. All right. I'll see you when I'm in the hospital for cardiac arrest. Oh my God. Oh. When I first took that first video, I was right here. Who's it around? Oh, they're around. Up here. Yeah, I think we got it climbing for the day. My heart is just, it's not beating fast enough for how much I'm using my body. It's weird. I think I drank too much last night or something. It's a really frightening feeling though. At this point, we're about 60 miles away from Malaga, which is a famous city, equally rich in its history and culture, also once home to Picasso himself. Anyway, here's the only video I took the entire time we were there. Oh my God. We started on that beach, near that beach, and about 2 hours, 1,000+ feet later, 2 flat tires I had in 1 hour, in one 30-minute span. These Spanish mountains were truly torturous in this heat. I would love to share our ride data with you, but unfortunately Amelia lost her Fitbit watch a few weeks prior. Luckily, at the bottom of that mountain, there ended up being one of the nicest campgrounds we've ever been to.
It's okay. Oh my God. There's ants. There's ants all over them.
Tells me that the mom's not taking care of them. They were screaming and crying. They just finished cleaning them up, cleaning each one off. And they're fine, they're alive. Now they're sleeping, but I don't know what to do with them. There's some snow-capped mountains just over there. I think that's Andorra, because we're near the French-Spanish border, and then Andorra is just east of that, but not very far, maybe 100 miles. So maybe those are the mountains on the border of Andorra. Got my back tire replaced, which will help. I've been having serious issues with it. Yeah, I don't even want to go into it. It's been ridiculous. But anyway, got it replaced. Lost a piece of my fender here. Lost the front piece of my fender. This bike was fighting for its life with me on top of it. Beautiful. I don't know if you can see all that. Those are poppies. Very cool. These are poppies, red poppies.
Papi chulo.
We've already tried to extract the heroin out of them, but to no avail. Look at how the wind hits that grass.
Silly, how beautiful. So look at the bike riders.
Look at this. After enjoying this music festival, we jumped back on the bikes since we're only about 100 miles from the French border. Okay, well, we ran into a thunderstorm. A little camping chair. Okay, Amelia. So how good is that chair, having the chair?
Oh, it's the best.
My chair's under here. I haven't wanted to pull it out just yet.
Like pantry on the front. It's kind of like I'm sitting in the kitchen.
Yeah, let's see what goodies you have. Nice.
Are you looking for cash?
Well, Amelia got flat. Here we are, about 60 miles from the French border. Unbeknownst to us, we would end up spending the night at a nudist colony since there was no other campground in the area. I actually had a great time here and initiated a conversation with a fully nude German couple in the grocery store. Everything about this place felt illegal.
Oh, this says go which way?
To the right, yeah. After the nudist colony, we make it to Catalonia, our last stop in Spain before we enter France. Catalonians are very beautiful and proud people. Just ask them. They will tell you. As our leg in Spain comes to an end, we look back at our time on its southern coast and ask ourselves, why did we just do that? Anyway, thanks for watching. Hopefully France is slightly easier.